What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone, and today I have a very special interview with former MLB pitcher, now current Lexington legend, Connor Greene. Connor, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. And how's your day going, man?
It's a beautiful day down here in Lexington, and I'm blessed to still be playing. What you up to,
Yeah.
Jackson?
Just got back home from college. I graduate in about 3 days, so super excited to get you on this and do this, man. So I'm
Well,
excited.
congratulations, man.
I truly appreciate it. Now, I want to start off with my first question about like the beginning of your pro ball career. Now, I love getting this answer because it's different answers every time. Back in 2013, out of high school, you signed a minor league contract with the Toronto Blue Jays. What made you want to go the pro ball route instead of heading into college ball like a lot of majority of major league players do?
Yeah, well, back then there was no NIL deals. There was not a lot of incentive to go to college other than trying to get more money in the draft. And I had from a young age, me and my dad were going. Our goal was to become a pro baseball player. It wasn't to do anything other than become a major league baseball player. So I had a lot of faith, a lot of belief in myself, a lot of conviction in the fact that I could actually do that. And so I figured, hey, why delay this? I want to make it by 20 years old. I can start now. So I took an offer right away. Hindsight's 2020. Luckily, I still made it, but who knows? I could have gone to college and made a little bit more money, but at the end of the day, I think it was the right decision. I got in and I got started.
Yeah. It's very interesting to hear that pathway because I had Taylor Motter on a couple weeks ago. He was telling me, he went the pro ball route, he went the college ball route. So it's great to hear different perspectives from minor league stories. And I want to ask you about the minor league grind because you played for the Blue Jays organization, the Cardinals and Royals organization. What was your biggest
Yeah,
challenge throughout your minor league grind, and what was the best
yeah.
part throughout the minor league journey before heading into the majors?
Yeah, I think it's just a perspective on what it is. A lot of people call it a grind. I think it's a fucking beautiful place to be. It's something special. It's not a grind at all. In fact, I thought it was fun as hell. I have so many friends from the game, and not only that, I have a lot of transferable qualities now from being in such a difficult spot trying to achieve something great. Whether you can take into life, you can take into business, take into relationships, and whatever, so on and so forth. I wouldn't even call it a grind. I would call it the minor league blessing. And yeah, I mean, it's long bus trips and it's, not a lot of fans in the ballpark, but it's still good baseball. So, for me, it was not a grind. It was special and it was fun as hell.
I'm glad to hear you had a great time, and I love the energy you're putting into this interview because a lot of times when I ask about like the minor league journey, a lot of people tell me about the struggles. But I'm glad that you see it as a blessing. That kind of relates to my next question because your last year in minor league ball, you played during COVID year. What was that like for you?
Well, I'm not to correct you, but I did play with the Astros in 2024. So that was my last year in the minors. And, COVID year, I was sitting at home. I was living in an RV. I was up in the mountains. So COVID to me wasn't even going on. I was just in the mountains playing catch against a wall. Old Wally, he don't complain. He just fucking is a great catch partner. And I was just staying ready, bro. At the end of the day, success is, opportunity meeting preparation, right? And so I was just staying ready for my chance. And right after COVID year, I had no job. Royals left me at home. I was not in an alternate site. It wasn't looking pretty for my career. Orioles called me up and they gave me a shot. They say, hey, we'll sign you a minor league deal, invite to camp. I ended up debuting with the Orioles that year. And it's all because I was in this RV and I was just throwing my weighted balls and playing catch against the wall. So my arm was in shape. Um, the whole theme, the constant theme you're going to keep hearing me repeat is it's going to be chronic positivity and a delusional outlook at being successful and the potential and possibility of it always playing out in your favor. And so I had that belief throughout this whole journey, and yeah, man, it pays off.
When it comes to a baseball journey. And I'm glad you have so much optimism going from, playing ball against the wall in the mountains to finally having your shot in 2021. And that leads to my next question. You made your debut in 2021 with the Baltimore Orioles in Camden Yards in relief of
Yep.
Adam Plutko. What was that like for you?
Ah, you know, it was a lot. It was a long time due, in my opinion. I felt that I should have made it, within, I had a great year in, sorry, am I still there? Yeah. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
I had a great year years before that when I was already, I was real young, a big prospect. I thought I already should have made it. So when I got there, I was nervous, but I was more excited. I felt that I was ready for it. I knew I was capable of it. I had played all those guys my whole minor league career. So, I'm facing someone. Magneuris Sierra was my first batter. I had faced him my whole minor league career. It was nothing new. The lights are brighter, the stadiums are bigger, and the moment's bigger. But at the end of the day, it's the same game. Anyone that's going to come into every time you move up a new level, I recommend pitch or play at 60%. Because if you're throwing at 100%, you're out of control. You got a lot of adrenaline. Your fucking heart rate's pumping, and you're going to be out of your control. You can't even feel your limbs. You're so typed up. So like I was just throwing in a smooth state of mind, again a confident state of mind, and I was ready for that moment. It was something I wanted my whole life, and I finally had gotten it. So that moment was just a accumulation of all my hard work and me being like, finally. And I had the feeling of being like, fuck everybody, because I should be here. I deserve to be here. And but really, it was more. Looking back, it's not a fuck everybody. It was a thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all of this shit. So yeah, no, that moment I was ready for.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that you were ready for that moment after so many years of hard work being put in, finally being under the bright lights in the majors in 2021 with the Baltimore Orioles. I know it was 5 years ago, but I want to ask a very quick, fun question. I have the batting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles from your debut. Can you name the 1 through 9 for the Baltimore Orioles for your debut?
Absolutely not. Uh, no idea. I don't even know who I was throwing to. I don't know if it was Wins catching me. Maybe Cedric Mullins, Mountcastle, Mancini, Austin Hayes in left. Uh, who was my shortstop at the time? I know Ramon Urias was there. That's my boy. I played with him in Cardinals. Uh, Second base, maybe Jorge Mateo or something. Maybe not though on the day one. Um, I probably got like 7 out of 9.
Mhm. Yeah, you got 7 out of 9. You were just missing Pedro Severino and DJ Stewart.
And that's who was catching me, and DJ, my guy. Yeah, both great friends. And Severino I actually play with in winter ball all the time. So yeah, yeah, that's them. That's the boys. We were not a good team, but we were a bunch of good guys.
That's absolutely awesome to hear. I mean, I truly feel that. Now, I do want to ask you this: like, what was the greatest moment from your, major league to minor league career? Once you left the majors.
Having that knowledge and that experience, at the end of the day, ego plays a big role in all of us as young men trying to achieve our dreams. We have a lot of ego, and so I think that it really fulfilled my ego, knowing that I could do it, and then I was able to release that. So next time I went to the minors, I was able to just be satisfied and content with where I'm at in life and able to now play freely without any pressure and stuff. So I think it relieved a lot of, is my dad going to judge me if I don't make it? He worked hard his whole life to help me get there. Do my friends think this of me? It relinquished all of that shit. And I was able to just go out there and play for the rest of my career. Like right now I'm in Lexington. First of all, I love it here, but it's indie ball. It's not the most glamorous shit, but because I have made it, I'm able to be here, be present, play my best, and then help the younger guys around me because they definitely need it.
Being a guy in the locker room like you, Connor, bright spot, man. Probably one of the best interviews I've ever done, the most energetic. So I truly appreciate you for your. But I do want to ask you this because you talked about, life outside of the majors. You had stints in Mexico, Australia, and now you're in the Atlantic League. I want to ask you about the foreign leagues. What was the biggest difference from playing in the States to Australia and Mexico?
Australia is nice. You can speak the same language, right? So you have I can speak English. It's not that foreign. It's a beautiful country and it was wonderful with a bunch of good guys. And there's only 4 games a week. It's more of a relaxed state. Dominican Republic is some of the funnest baseball you ever play in your life. And if anyone ever has a chance to do that, you better go because it is the most intense, fun atmosphere you'll ever play in. I would even argue it's World Series type energy every game, even though the stadiums are smaller. I played in Taiwan last season. Remarkable place. I mean, I would go back in a second. I loved it, every second of it. I hope to get to Korea, and I still hope to get to Japan. That's why I'm still playing, you know. But where else have I played? Mexico. Mexico is also a really good experience. You know, it's good money down there. You can make a good living. It's a little more grindy. It's a little more difficult. But some of them stadiums are still big league atmospheres. And at the end of the day, it's the same game. Really, for me, experiencing cultures, meeting great people, you know, expanding that horizon. You know, I'm fluent in Spanish now because of these experiences. I speak a tiny bit of Mandarin Chinese because of that. So whether it goes into business after this, which I will speak about because I'm launching a product called Show Rub here soon. It's going to be a new topical that competes with Icy Hot and Atomic Bomb, Red Hot, and I think it's much better. It's much healthier and all these things. But what this gifted me was perspective, and I think in life, you're a young guy, Jackson. You know, perspective is huge, and when you have that right perspective, anything's possible, Bubba.
Well, I'm glad you have an amazing perspective, especially even traveling out to the foreign leagues like Taiwan, Mexico, Australia, and I hope you make it to the KBO and the MPB because I feel like you're going to pitch lights out. And I'm excited to see what you do in the Atlantic League. Now that I'm graduated, I'll definitely have some time to travel to baseball stadiums, so I'll make it out to Lexington for sure to try to find a home game when you're out. And I have two final questions for you, Connor, because I was looking through some of the research. Is it true that you made appearances in modeling and on a TV show throughout your career?
Oh yeah, well the face don't lie, Jackson. The face don't lie. So yeah, I was good buddies with Charlie Sheen for a couple years because my great friend and coach Tony Todd was his best friend, and that just
Mhm.
goes back to being a good person, being a good guy, being relatable, and being there for people. You know, these opportunities come around, and when you're not a dick and you're so worried about yourself that you're in a bad headspace and you're not being good to people, you know, you're just not going to get those calls. But if you're, you know, being a good guy, being there for people, being fun to be around, you know, people hit you up, and these opportunities just come they flood in, you know, so many opportunities. You have to turn down a lot of them. So, but yes, I was on anger management, last episode ever, just an extra. Modeling was when I was real young because I think my mom was trying to make a little bag off me when I was like 5.
Hmm. I mean, I want to see Connor Greene in a Netflix show coming up, maybe post baseball career. It happens.
Yeah.
But final question for you, very quick, because I want to ask a really fun question before I ask you about your product. Everybody has a go-to like pregame meal or pregame hype song they like to listen to. Outside of team meals you eat with the teams, do you have like a go-to like fast food chain restaurant and go-to like artist you listen to before every game? Oh, that's
Yeah.
insane.
I hell yeah. My go-to meal is a lot of carbs and stuff. So I like a chicken pasta, like anything, you know, a
Mhm.
carbonara or something just to get that energy up. Probably not the best for you, but I like it. I eat anything that tastes good because you're always nervous on those day games. So yeah, you want something that you can just actually eat. And if it don't taste good, you're not going to eat it. From a song standpoint, if I'm too hyped up, I listen to something calm. If I'm too calm, I listen to something to hype me up and get me in that window. It's all about arousal control. You need to control your adrenaline. You need to control your focus, your state of mind to be successful that day. So it just depends on the day. Sometimes I'm hyped, so I calm down. Sometimes I'm not at all, and I really need to get myself there.
I hope they have a lot of Olive Gardens out in Lexington because you're gonna need some pasta, pasta out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
final question for you about your product. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yep. All right. So show rub. It's I was sitting there and I'm getting ready to pitch against the New York Yankees. You know, Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, John Carlos Stanton was usually the people I faced, and I needed the best possible product on my arm. You know, atomic bomb is efficient, but you know, it's just it's old, it's outdated, and it's still made out of petroleum jelly, which you know, there's a lot of studies coming out that it's actually not that good for you, despite it being around for hundreds of years. So I made my own with a beeswax base and castor oil, meaning it's way better for your skin. And then second, it has the same effects. It has that hot capsaicin feel where it's burning your arm off. You know, you can't feel your arm while you're throwing. And that's what you want. You want to be at the best when you're playing the best. And that's why I created Show Rub. And it's going to be funneled right to pitchers and all baseball players and eventually every sport, all athletes. I have big dreams for it. I have high expectations. We are funded and we are starting. So in about 6 weeks, everybody, stay tuned for Show Rub. It will be out there and you will see it on your ads on Instagram.
Make sure to go check out Show Rub when it finally comes out. And Connor Greene, thank you so much again for taking time out of your very busy schedule mid practice to do this interview on field.
Oh
Nobody's ever.
yeah, I'm still. Yep. Anytime, Jackson. You let me know, man. If you're ever in the same city as me, let me know. We'll chop it up.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, kid. Have a good day.
You too.